So here is the video of material that we've already done prior to this break, and I'm just going to go over that section. So you've already heard me talk about what it looks like in the music. The introduction has 4th string and 3rd string, 2nd fret. You can use your first finger on that, or 2nd, doesn't matter. But the timing goes 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually the notation has in it that there's a rest. So you can actually mute the strings on beat 4. If you'll notice, there's a couple of ways that you can do the playing on this hand. I'm using my fingers, but if I was using a pick, I would play both. I would use both. It's not like that, but where I'd play both of the notes together with the pick. I can also do that with my fingers, like this, or I can do it with my thumb. Either way, you're playing both of the notes together because they're on top of one another in the music. So again, the rhythm is, we're in 4/4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. So it all sounds the same. It's the 4 measures of identical of sound. And then it goes into the melody, which is that letter A in your music. And what you had was first finger on F, and that's the note that you hear the most. F, 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 and then D, 3rd fret, 2nd string, to 1st fret, 2nd string is C, back to D. So it's 1, F, 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 D, C, D. Okay? And again, I know that we went over it in class, so I just want to make sure that everybody understands what it sounds like and what the notes actually are. So that is another figure that repeats itself 4 times. I know in the recording, John Lennon, who wrote the song and who's singing it, the lead, he does different rhythms because it's different lyrics. But it's okay for us to just keep playing the same thing because it definitely gets the idea across of what the song sounds like. So if I start at rehearsal letter A, the 5th measure, it would be 1, of course, you know there's a rest at the beginning, right? There's an 8th note rest. That's why you're not playing on 1 and you're playing on the and of 1 as the first note, F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next, the next section is, again, there's nothing on the downbeat. There's a rest, another 8th note rest. So it's 1 and that E gets played on the and of 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you have the first note is going to come in on the and of 1, 1 and. It's a quarter note, so it lasts for the equivalent of 2 8th notes. So it's 1 and 2. Then the next note is going to come on the and of 2. And then the next 2 notes are quarter notes. 3, 4. So it's E is on 3, D is on 4. It's just those 2 notes. First string open, 2nd string, 3rd fret is the next note, D. And I recommend that you get off of that D so you don't have it going like this. E, D, E, D, E. Because a lot of times you'll hear both notes ringing. I like to play it so it's E, D, E, and I lift 2, D, 2, D. So what happens is that you're getting off the string so it doesn't sound like it's just this blur. Now, what happens after that measure where you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Next measure is downbeat 1, E, which is the first string, E, and then 1 and 2. On 2, you're playing the D, and then on the and of 2, you're playing another E. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So both measures sound like this, nothing on the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, so it's easy to hear it. I just want to make sure that you understand the counting of it. And then it goes into the next measure, which has you playing all Fs for the whole measure. 8 Fs in that measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We don't want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because then we'll lose where the downbeat is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All in one measure. The measure after that does 2 more Fs, 1 and, then it does a D, third fret, second string, on 2, and then the and of 2 comes back to the F. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it just keeps on ringing because it's tied to a note there. So if you played from the third line, you're going to be hearing 8 Fs for that measure, and then an additional 2 more, and then a D, and then an F again. But it's not a good idea to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because what you're doing is you're crossing over bar lines, and it's better to just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. And that's how I'm going to count it. So here's that line. Third line starting with an F, F. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. What happens after that? Repeat sign. Where does the repeat sign go? To the very beginning of the song where we were doing this. When we were doing those 2 notes, D and A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play I'm going to play through all of that section without stopping or explaining, because at this point you would have found out what each measure is supposed to have in it, and play along with it. Also, I explain the first ending and explain the second ending. If I do my repeat, the second time I've gone through, I will ignore first ending and jump directly to the second ending. Now the second ending, the material is almost the same. It still does this, which sounds like the first ending, but then it does this, which I'll explain in the next video. It goes to a new section. So what I'll do is I'll just go directly to the second ending without going into or going further than the second ending. Okay? So here we go from the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Here's the melody. 1. And here comes the Fs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Repeat. 2, 3, rest, and 2, jump to the second ending. When I did this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and second ending. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's the next part that I'm going to go over in another video, because I want to make sure that we can do all that introduction beginning with the first couple of verses, and that's covered. And we did do that in the classroom. So it looks like we're going to be doing most of this other stuff without being in the classroom. So I want to make sure that these videos give you as much information as you need. Okay?